Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing fine. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. Of course, guys, sorry about last night again, but I'm here this morning. That's what matters, guys. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Don't forget to smash a like, guys. Please don't forget to smash a like. Very important for the algorithms and things like that. Do you know what I mean? In regards to the video and stuff like that, it'd be absolutely fantastic if you guys could do that for me. If you could pull it off, that'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. Absolutely. Guys, let's get straight into some Manchester United news. Of course, unfortunately, Man United are not playing until Friday. Friday of all days. Why do Man United keep playing in the evening, guys? I want to know. Why do Man United keep playing in the evening? Why can't we play in the daytime? Is there some forbidden law that we're unaware of that Man United can't play in the daytime anymore? 3 o'clock kickoffs? Nah, not for Man United. Absolutely not. Well, I've just woke up. It's early in the morning over here in Italy, guys. And here we are, guys. And I've got the news for you in regards to Manchester United. Of course, guys, as I do, of course. So, Manchester United are set for an extreme overhaul in January and the summer. Now, Manchester United are looking to completely revamp the squad by the start of next season, which includes some key names, some famous names, some fan favourites that might not be at the football club anymore. Now, Man United are looking to replace these players with players of not only experience, but some of the biggest up-and-coming players in Europe at the moment. This is what Man United are looking to do. Now, the players that could be out the door do include Bruno, Xerxes, Ugarte, and Mainoo. Now, as we know, Man United are not going to get rid of all those players in January, of course, because you know what? We're down to the bare bones, and Bruno's obviously injured at the moment, and he'll be out for around a month, apparently. So Xerxes, Ugarte, and Mainoo are the 3 players that could possibly leave in January. Ugarte has had a poor tenure at Manchester United so far, hasn't been as good as we thought it would be. For whatever reason that is, it just hasn't quite clicked for him. I do believe it's inconsistencies in the selection of the squad. I do believe that we haven't got a settled midfield, which is probably why Ugarte and players like that have not performed to the level that we expected them to perform. Because I remember when we were after Ugarte, so many of us were so excited about Ugarte, weren't we? We were vying for Ugarte. We need to Ugarte. Ugarte is the difference maker. Ugarte is the missing piece of the puzzle, etc., etc., etc. Unfortunately, it just hasn't worked out. And as I said yesterday, some things just don't work out in football. You know, as I said yesterday, Juan Sebastian Veron, for example, one of the players, highly sought after, world class, just didn't quite work out, of course, guys. And we just have to accept that sometimes, guys. We really do. And you know, I really like Ugarte, but it just hasn't worked out. The situation with Kobbie Mainoo is a little bit different, of course. He is a fan favorite for many people. He is a very good player. He's an academy player, etc., etc. However, obviously, the noises surrounding Kobbie Mainoo are quite. How would I say it? Disrupting to Manchester United and Ruben Amorim. And Ruben Amorim does not want this noise surrounding Old Trafford. Now, of course, Kobbie Mainoo was injured, guys, against, of course, Aston Villa. Apparently. Look, I'm not going to say anything sinister, but you know what? It did seem a little bit convenient, the timing and stuff like that. But let's take it as he's injured at the end of the day. But Kobbie Mainoo is disillusioned at Man United and he wants to move on. He wants to, Man United, more or less, he wants to go to the World Cup. And basically, the only way he could do this is by going on loan to another club and performing at that other club. It does depend which club he goes to. Now, when you look at Thomas Tuchel's squad, he's already picked, you know, I actually believe he already knows his squad. I actually think that Thomas Tuchel already knows his squad, and it doesn't include Kobbie Mainoo, sadly, because I do believe that Kobbie Mainoo adds something different to the England squad, and I think he would be good, you know, for England in the World Cup. Unfortunately, he just hasn't played enough, of course. I still would have picked him ahead of Henderson. Do you know what I mean? Henderson's about 50 years old. It's ridiculous. But Kobbie Mainoo does look like most likely to leave in January. So does Ugarte. Now, the situation surrounding Xerxes, of course, is quite different. There are actually clubs who want to purchase Xerxes, Roma being one of them. They want to purchase Xerxes. And but basically, they want to do a loan with an obligation to buy. So Man United are not looking for a loan to obligation to buy. They're looking to sell Xerxes outright. They're not interested in the obligations anymore. Obviously, we got Marcus Rashford still on the obligation, and obviously we've still got Rasmus Højlund there as well. Xerxes could go to Roma. It is a situation going on there at the moment. There's a lot of noises here in Italy, where I am, about Xerxes going to Roma, going to Italy. Xerxes has not got nowhere near enough playing time, and he was the last substitute against Aston Villa. He didn't come on, even when we needed a goal. He wasn't substituted onto the pitch quick enough, was he? At the end of the day, well, for whatever reason. Look, again, it just hasn't worked out. And we have to sometimes accept these kind of things in football. Things just don't work out sometimes. Whether he's your favorite player, whether it's not. No one is to blame. You know, it just doesn't work out. Ugarte, there's huge rumors about Ugarte going to Galatasaray. Galatasaray are the biggest team who are interested in Ugarte at the moment on a cash fee. Now, that would be great. Take 40 million for Ugarte and we move on at the end of the day. I think Man United should do that. The biggest conundrum that Man United have at the moment is the fact that the AFCON is on, is the fact that we've got injuries. We got a lot of injuries at the moment. And this next month is quite treacherous in regards to the fixtures that we have. Obviously, we've got Man City coming up. We've got Newcastle coming up. We've got Arsenal coming up at the end of next month as well. So we have to be very smart in what we're doing when we're getting rid of players and stuff like that. This is why part of me feels that much of our business will be done in the summer. Much of it will be done in the summer. However, in regards to players that are coming in to Manchester United, lots of links surrounding many players, of course, guys, not least Semenyo, Baleba, Ayaboyudi. These three players are three players you should be listening out for because Man United are looking to get these players through the door. Now, Man United may get one of those players. One of those players may come through the door. Man United are completely looking to revamp the team, give it a new look completely, and basically want to freshen things up. And I think that's great. I think by next season, Man United need to have a different lineup. And this is why Man United need to take advantage of this January transfer window, because players will come in, players will settle down. By the start of next season, they will be ready to go. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool will be doing this, Man City will be doing this, Chelsea will be doing this. A lot of teams will be doing this in January. So you want Semenyo, go out and get Semenyo. If he works for your system, go out and get Semenyo. You want Baleba, go out and get Baleba. Now, Baleba's an interesting one. Of course, Baleba has already reiterated his stance in regards to Manchester United. He wants to go to Manchester United. It's quite obvious he wants to go to Man United. And as I said, because he wants to go to Man United so bad, he wants that move so bad, bring him in. Bring him in. I like him. I think he's a good player. I know he hasn't performed to the levels that is expected of him. I know last season he was very good, and I'm a big fan. But obviously this season it's been a bit difficult for him. But you know what? I would say that if we can get a good price for him, 30, 40 million, you know what I mean? 50 million tops, then bring in Carlos Baleba. You know? Another one is an interesting one is Ayaboyudi. Man United are heavily interested in Ayaboyudi. They are Bayubi, and they are very, very huge admirers of this gentleman here. Future French international, of course, a very, very talented individual. You're looking at this player, and you're looking at players like Cherki, for example, went to Man City, who we missed out on. For whatever reason, we missed out on Cherki, because we saw Cherki play against Man United last season, and many of us were saying, oh, but he went like this to the crowd. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, as long as they do the business on the pitch, that's all I care about at the end of the day. And you know, I expect that from rival players. I expect rival players to be committed and to be intimidating or to be winding up the opposition players. I actually like players like that who do that kind of thing. You know, it's actually football based. Do you know what I mean? Rather than the stuff that goes on off the pitch, I'd rather have players doing this to the opposition crowd. Because didn't Beckham do this? You remember Beckham? Beckham done that. A lot of players do them sort of things. You know what I mean? It shows passion, and I like that sort of thing. But Ayaboyudi is one player that could surprise a lot of people. He could be the player that be first to come through the door. Ayaboyudi has been scouted by Jason Wilcox, Omar Barada, of course, and they are both huge admirers of this player. Now, Ayaboyudi has said he's interested in moving to the Premier League. It's a huge boost, of course, but that's not to say that other Premier League teams won't be interested in Ayaboyudi. When I'm looking at players around Europe at the moment, Ayaboyudi is one of the players that really stick out like a sore thumb in regards to how good they can be, how high their ceiling is. This guy, I'm telling you right now, will be an absolute game changer if we manage to pull it off. Just like Rodrigo Moura. Now, Rodrigo Moura, of course, the Porto player, I spoke about him yesterday. He's heavily linked with Man United as well. Behind the scenes, Man United are working on wheeling and dealing in a way to get Rodrigo Moura, Ayo Biordi through the door, because these players are the players that Man United will help Man United progress for many years to come, not just in the short term, in the long term as well. And these are the type of players that Man United are looking at. Now, obviously, I'm not going to come on here and say that, you know what, we're going to get that player, we're going to get this player, we're going to do this player, we're going to do that, because at the end of the day, talk is cheap, as we know in football. It does depend on what you do. If you walk the walk rather than talk the talk, you need to walk the walk in football, and that's what you have to do in football. Walk the walk, not just talk the talk. Ayo Biordi, Rodrigo Moura, these type of players are the kind of players that Man United are looking for. They're not only young, they're very versatile. And they've also played a lot of first-team football already in their young age, of course, guys. So these are players we need to look out for. The Premier League proven players like Elliot Anderson, Baleba, Adam Wharton, these players are still on Manchester United's radar. However, Man United are looking at Anderson and are looking at Adam Wharton and are concerned about the price tag, the price that they're going to cost. As we know, Elliot Anderson will cost 65 million above. So will Adam Wharton cost 65 million above. And of course, there will be competition for those players, of course. In regards to the defensive side of things, Man United are interested in Mark Gui. Mark Gui, of course, will be a free transfer at the end of the season. However, Barcelona have emerged as favourites for Gui signature, exactly what I said the other day. And there will be other teams interested in Mark Gui. A lot of teams are going to be interested in Mark Gui, a very talented centre-back, of course, for free at the end of the season. So who wouldn't want Mark Gui in their squad for free? You know what I mean? So Barcelona have emerged as favourites, and obviously Mark Gui's head is going to be turned in regards to Barcelona. Of course, Mark Gui nearly signed for Liverpool, of course, at the start of this season. But of course, didn't work out for whatever reason. But the great thing about Mark Gui, what stood out for me in my head is that he remained professional, he remained consistent, and his performances didn't drop at all. And I really like that about a player who, even though their head is turned and a little bit disgruntled, they didn't get the move that they wanted, they still perform and they still are professional, guys. Now, Man United are trying to reach standards. And I heard this word quite a lot over the last 24 hours, 48 hours, standards, right? The problem with the word standards, right? People think you get to standards like this. With a click of a finger, you're in standards. Now, Man United were way, way, way far away from standards before Ruben Amorim walked in. We were not there. Yes, we're a cup team. We may be getting to the top three. We may be winning the FA Cup, but we're not winning anything major anytime soon. So, obviously, Man United haven't challenged for a league for 15 years odd since Sir Alex Ferguson left, 12 years, something like that. So Man United have not challenged for a league yet. So Man United have never not been up to the standards that we expect from us. We need to be challenging for leagues. We need to be challenging for Champions Leagues. That is what Man United need to be doing. This is how we are. And none of us, including me, have forgotten this about standards. I don't forget about standards. I was there before Jim Ratcliffe walked through the door, doing the full Sal, fighting for the full Sal. I sacrificed myself in regards to the full Sal with people hating me and stuff like that. And that's what it is at the end of the day, because I understood what Man United need to reach standards. Unfortunately, there are many people out there who don't know what it takes to reach standards. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean. They don't know what it takes to get to standards. Most people are concentrating on the symptoms and not concentrating on the cause of why we are underachieving, right? And this is something that I brought in at the beginning of the season. I don't want people to forget the cause. I don't want people to forget why Man United struggle, why Man United are struggling to beat West Ham and Everton and Bournemouth and teams like that. There is a reason behind the madness, guys, right? And it is exactly Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers. I know what standards means. At Man United, I've seen 13 titles. I know what it is. But unfortunately, there are many people out there who don't understand what standards is, because standards for them is just a buzzword. It's just a buzzword. They throw it out there, but they've never seen standards at Man United. They started supporting Man United 08. They never seen what it took to get to that level. Do you know what I mean? Even in 08, people didn't see Man United in 03, 04, and 05. You know what I mean? When they were getting to that team, that world-class team in 2008 and 2007, 2008. They didn't see that. And that's the thing. And unfortunately, there's so many people who think they know what standards is, who think standards come and with a click of a finger. Man United are Man United. I understand Man United are Man United and he should be at a certain level, but Man United have been run to the ground for the last 20 years. It's up to Ineos. It's up to the Glazers to show us that they care. Look, let's cut out the Glazers because the Glazers have proven already they don't give a shit about this football club. They've let this football club decay. Let's talk about Ineos. They have to do the business and stop talking now. The rumours, of course, would come out. The rumours, there's no smoke without fire. I've always believed that. There's no smoke without fire. The rumours will be the rumours. But they have to show us now in January that they care about this football club, what happens on the pitch, and not just fattening their pockets. They have to show us now. Because at the end of the day, this is how we reach standards. Building a midfield is how we reach standards. Now, we had people saying, oh, but you know what? Ruben Amorim, he made Dalot captain. Dalot, look, listen, let me tell you something about being a captain, right? Captain, you don't have to necessarily be the most talented player. You have to be the most vocal, right? I think Dalot's a better captain than Shaw. Licha Martinez came in the second half. You can't suddenly give him the captaincy. And what I'm saying is this, right? People are going to blame Ruben Amorim, and they're going to blame Ruben Amorim for the reduction of the standards and the decreasing of the standards at Man United. You know, but what we got to understand is this: it's a symptom, not a cause. And we have to find out what the cause is. Why are we not reaching the levels that we want to reach? Why can't we be consistent? Why can't we move up that league like Man United used to do? Why can't we turn those 2-2s into 3-2s? Why can't we turn those 0-1s into 1-1s? Why can't we win the game against Bournemouth 4-3? It's because of the way we are being run. If Man United at the beginning of the season had the couple of midfielders there, let's say we had Baleba in there, guys, and an Adam Wharton in there, Man United will be challenging for the league. I bet your bottom dollar. It doesn't matter what you think about the manager, because we will be challenging for the league right now if he was back to a level that I feel he should have been backed. And I think many of the fans who have their head screwed on, no. You know, I don't know whether there's some people, and some of them have got big platforms, unfortunately. Some of them have got huge platforms. Unfortunately, they're doing what everyone predicted. They're doing what the problem has been for many, many years. They're just going after the simple thing, the manager. And that is where I get annoyed with some of them, because at the end of the day, a lot of these people came into this industry, into this this content creation industry, and they were opportunists. They came at the right time. This is why they got big platforms. It doesn't mean they know more than me or you. It doesn't mean that they're the oracle of football. It doesn't. I could sit down with any one of them and I'll probably know more than them. No? And I actually think I would. But the thing is that I don't want to see this very, very one-dimensional opinions about football that, you know what, because you've already made up your mind about the manager, you already made up your mind, and you're not going to change your mind about the manager. Do you know what I mean? People are jumping too soon, guys. I can see the style of play where literally a couple of goals here and there from being way up that league, guys, in the top four, right? And for me, that's embarrassing. We're 3 points off the top four at the moment, right? Aston Villa was a tough game, we know it, but in reality, we did outplay Aston Villa. And it was a tough game. Of course, it was a tough game. Arsenal lost to Aston Villa. You know what I mean? And we have to look at that as well. And we played better than Arsenal against Aston Villa. Of course, it's no excuse to lose. Of course it is. And some people are saying, oh, well, my great football club, we shouldn't be losing this game. Listen, guys, I've been supporting this club nearly 40 years. I know we shouldn't be losing games. But unfortunately, we're not where we were there. We do not have Roy Keane, Dennis Owen, Peter Schmeichel, Andy Cole, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane. We don't have these players anymore. We don't have Peter Schmeichel anymore. We've had the Glazers burning us to the ground for many, many, many years now. You know, so what Ruben Amorim is trying to do is trying to sweep up the derelict building and get rid of the asbestos and trying to fix the culture at this football club, which is an absolute mess, as has been proven this last week with Kobbie Mainoo, where some people jumped and tried to defend Kobbie Mainoo and then they changed their stance because they were wrong. And from the beginning, I knew it was wrong. Anyone with a brain knows that is wrong, what the Kobbie Mainoo's brother did. Okay? But when we're looking at things on a positive level, January is literally around the corner. We got a week until the transfer window opens, guys, and Man United have to do business. There's lots of contradictions. There's lots of aren't they, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to do this. They are going to do this. They're going to sign this player. They are going to sign that. Now, in regards to Antoine Semenyo, he looks like the one who is going to move in January. The player at the moment that looks the most likely to leave their football club is Antoine Semenyo. He is a great player, but as I've said many, many times, he's a luxury player. He's the icing on the cherry on the cake. He's not the actual base of the cake, if you know what I mean. And we ain't got a base at the moment. We need a base before we can start putting the icing and the cherry on the cake, if you know what I mean. That's Semenyo. However, guys, I would say if it's what Ruben Amorim wants, if it's what he feels that will help us progress, then we go after Antoine Semenyo. Antoine Semenyo is a fantastic player, brilliant player. And you know what? It'd be great to have him in the team. Can he play left wing back? Can he do that? I don't know. At the end of the day, we got Cunha, we got Mbeumo. Yes, Semenyo will be very, very useful on January the 1st. Of course he will be. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But at the end of the day, look, I would like Semenyo if we had that midfield sorted out, if we had the wing back sorted out, if we had the defense sorted out. I would like that because at the end of the day, I feel like we need to get the base sorted out because right now, the biggest problem at United was it last season was scoring goals. Now we're scoring goals. Now, this season, it's conceding goals. And this is where you have to get the balance right, isn't it? Obviously, we're looking at Lenny Yoro and we're looking at Aiden Heaven. These two players these players are young. They're going to make mistakes, especially in the centre-back positions. And ex-Man United players have said that. I know an ex-Man United player called John O'Kane, follows me on Twitter, was it part of the class of 92, played in that game in 1995-96 against Aston Villa when we lost 3-1. You remember, can't win anything to kids. Played in that. He knows, he spoke to me and he said that, you know what, playing too many young players in defence is suicide. It is. Because at the end of the day, in defence, you need a little bit of strength, a little bit of physicality. And I do think our defence lacks a little bit of physicality at the moment. And that is where we would have had Mazraoui, De Ligt, and Licha Martinez. Now, if we had Mazraoui, De Ligt, and Licha Martinez, who knows what would have happened? We probably would have beaten Bournemouth, right? Probably would have beaten West Ham. That's what probably would have happened. We would have had more points. It's obvious, isn't it? Better players at the moment. Yoro and Aiden Heaven, fair play to him. One of my man of the matches against Aston Villa. Absolutely phenomenal. But obviously, Lenny Yoro is struggling. Okay, Lenny Yoro is struggling, but it doesn't mean that we throw him under the bus. Because there are many people that come on this on the channel, especially over the weekend, and saying that he's crap, he's this, he's that. It's not that. He's young, he's inexperienced, he's got great potential, but we're throwing him under the bus. You know, and this is the biggest problem with me when I read these people's comments and I read the hatred. It's more like a hatred and agenda. Whereas I like to see comments like you know what, maybe he needs a loan, or maybe he needs to be nurtured into the team a little bit more. Maybe he needs someone experienced next to him, you know, but at the moment, he's not quite ready for the first team. That is a great comment. That is constructive. That's what I like. I don't like, he's crap, get him out of my football club, he's useless. I don't like that sort of thing for a young player. Obviously, because I remember Gary Neville, I remember Wesley Brown coming through the ranks and stuff, and I remember them making a lot of mistakes. You know, and Patrice Evra when he came into Man United, Jaap Stam when he came to Man United, Nemanja Vidic when he came to Man United, all became legends of Man United, of course, guys. That is the key criteria here. They all became legends because, you know what, we were patient with them. But obviously, they were nurtured by the likes of, obviously, Gary Pallister at the time, Steve Bruce at the time, Roy Keane was in there as well. They were nurtured by these players, of course. Do you know what I mean? Rio Ferdinand, whenever was there. You know, and this is what we're talking about. We have to be a little bit more empathetic with these players. We have to be a little bit more patient with these players. But this is exactly what we're talking about. This is exactly what we spoke about at the beginning of the season. The squad is not there at the moment. The squad, we had a 4 out of 10 transfer window. We had a 4 out of 10 transfer window, guys. It was a poor window. We have to be honest with ourselves. It was a poor window. You know, Guys, I said it, and I said, what, give it a couple of months, give it till December. You watch people start throwing this player under the bus, that manager under the bus, blah, blah, blah. And lo and behold, call me David Blaine, call me psychic, which I'm absolutely not, but it's exactly what's happening right now, isn't it? And big platforms are doing it the same. I don't know whether it's popular. I don't know what it is at the end of the day, guys. People are more inclined to live up the backside of Arsenal than support their own football club, unfortunately, guys, which I will never do. I could praise, but I'm not living up their backside. Definitely not, guys. Absolutely not. And this has been the problem. You know, big platforms who I question every single day their allegiance to Manchester United as time goes on. Just continue putting the nail in and not calling the facts as they are. I understand that you want your VIP passes for the press conferences. I understand that. So you don't want to criticize the ownership too much. Guys, listen, I'm one of the only platforms that I went out there and actually done something rather than just sitting there talking about it. Do you know what I mean? I'm one of the only platforms, who actually did something about it, right? At the end of the day, when you're talking about the 58th minute walkout and stuff, whether it's a fail, whether it succeeded, no matter what it is, at the end of the day, I tried. One man gang, I tried, and that's what it is out there to try and get the Glazers at the football club, guys. Absolutely. Let me read some of your comments, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate everyone in the stream, guys. Really appreciate everyone, of course. Big up to DJ Andre. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good. Hope everyone is doing blessed. Sal, do you think Champions League has lost its spark? Yes, DJ Andre. Good question, mate. I do believe that the Champions League has lost its spark. I do believe that the Champions League is not what it used to be. I think that part of that is because there's too many average teams in it. I don't like the league format. I think that football should be fair. I think that teams should play each other home and away. I don't think that is fair that one team has to play Real Madrid away, yet the other team has to play Sparta Prague away. You know, and then you can have that league, right, and not play Real Madrid or not play Barcelona and get in the top 8, but you haven't played any of the big guns. I think that's unfair. And that's why I think this competition is flawed at the moment. And this is why probably Arsenal are doing so well and things like that. And they funny, isn't it? Arsenal didn't do well in the old format. You know what I mean? And what I would say is that the old format's better. I think that if they're going to do that league, right, that's great, do the league, but they're going to have to play more games, double the amount of games. You're going to have to either shorten the Champions League, make it smaller and make them play every team twice, home and away, or, you know what, just go back to the old system because I think it's a little bit, guys, in my opinion, DJ Andrew, in my opinion, for United, he should be sacked. But the bootlickers and sheep in our fan base should look up at the Glazers and Ineos and con everyone into believing it is a jolly now. No, Android, no. Actually, no. You don't know nothing about the football club, mate. You don't know what we're talking about here. No one is jolly about Man United at the moment, as I've just said, Android. You're talking like a proper chuff monster again, right? And it's not bootlickers and stuff like that at the end of the day. What we're talking about, if you show a little bit of respect, DJ Android, you might actually get somewhere in life. What I would say, mate, is that we have to be patient because we can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. Again, standards. You don't understand what it means to reach standards. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know what I mean? You don't understand. Keep sacking the manager and get who in? Talented manager like that. Get another manager in. Who are we going to get? You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous, immature opinion about it. What have you done in regards to the Glazers, Android? What have you done? What did you do in regards to the Glazers? Did you do any movements? Did you do anything? Have you ever been Old Trafford? Have you ever done anything? Have you ever protested outside the ground? Have you ever done a movement where people left the ground at halftime? Have you ever done that, mate? Ruben Amorim's the right guy for Man United. We have to be patient and you need to just keep your tits on. And that's it. Sanjay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sanjay. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, of course. Good to see you. Guys, big up, Kenny. What's going on? No idea, DJ on Monday baffles me. Big up. More shocking that is. Guys, Kenny, DJ indeed lost its spark. Here's my take. All right, there you go. And that's all it is at the end of the day. Where's the take? Big up, Noah. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Ineos liquors are a much bigger problem for enabling Jim Ratcliffe. And what have you done in regards to Jim Ratcliffe, Android? Have you done anything about it? You know, have you done anything about it? So you think that people supporting Ruben Amorim are bootlicking Ineos? Are you crazy? Are you mad? Are you dunce? Now, that Bruno is injured. Do you think Mainu starts against Newcastle? No. No, I think he's not going to be ready. I don't think so, Kenny. Here's my take. King of the Cheats on something like that. 2022 one season. Amram can't even get a quarter of that. However, didn't mess up finals. He only lost 1 out of 3. Let me tell you something about that. There's a big difference between having Raphael Varane in your defense and Lenny Yoro, Roy. Okay, there's a big difference in regards to that. And Ten Hag couldn't score goals. We're scoring goals at the moment. At the end of the day. Wait, never mind. Moan is injured. Oh, yeah, totally, he's injured, mate. Blah 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 blah. Playing with the players are not his, Roy. By the way, Eric Ten Hag majority had his players, mate. Absolutely. Big up Noah, of course. Big up Noah. I don't deal with stats, Roy. I don't deal with stats. Because stats are manipulative. There was some people wanted him gone. I don't see any the same energy because obviously, mate, we're doing the same thing again and again. I didn't want Ten Hag to go, but look at the team. He has not been backed. He's got the same players as 14 years ago. You need to look at this, Roy. Stop looking at the dumb opinion, Roy. It's a dumb opinion. I mean, 41% and 54%. But mate, shut up. Honest to God, with these stupid percentages, mate. I'll be real, respectfully. Like, these percentages, these stats don't mean nothing if he hasn't been backed. Until he's been backed, then you can say, oh, these percentages that, because he plays a unique style of football, a completely different style of football. You know? Against Aston Villa, we had bloody 6, 7 youngsters on the pitch. You know what I mean? What are we talking about here? You know, you're talking about, Ten Hag's defensive record. When Ten Hag had bloody Raphael Varane, Amrabat, including on top of Anthony and Rashford, and that he had a much bigger squad than we have right now. You know? Ole deserved to be sad. Let's not do this revision. Exactly. Stupidness, mate. It's stupidness. He took United to second in COVID season, Roy. You're not going to win this, Roy. He took United to COVID season. In COVID season. Then you're going to die, DJ Android. That's it. At the end of the day. Was it his fault? The events was asked. Yeah, it was his fault because he spent 300 million, mate. Kenny, I doubt, but let's wait and see. Ole revisionism is up the state of United fans. They're the worst things in the fan base, the state of these people who think they know too much, but they know nothing. You know what I mean? So if we sell Ugarte and Xerxes, then are we going to bring a new midfielder and new striker? I would like to hope so, mate, that we'll bring in Semenyo and bring in a midfielder, someone like that. That would be good, Noah. If Man United managed to pull that off, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, guys. Yeah, but then again, look at Roy. You're not looking at the facts here. You're looking at it from your narrative. You're not looking at it from the facts. What I've just given you the facts. Listen, and you might learn something, Roy. This is the thing about football. You might learn to someone who's supported Man United for 40 years, seen 13 titles, by the way, rather than thinking of your narrative, what you think is a standard, what you think. This is what I'm talking about at the beginning of the show. I don't think you listen. I think you have selective hearing. Standards, not many people know how to reach standards. You could be at a low standards, but you're trying to get to standards. But not many people have the patience to get to standards. We were happy with with Eric Ten Hag here. We weren't reaching for standards. That's why we were in a comfort zone. We got more points because we're in a comfort zone. That's where we were. We were not trying to reach standards. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer became second because we played counter-attacking football, COVID season, no one in the ground, no one cared. And that's why. 1-0 though, did he? At the end of the day. So let's see if Ruben Amorim is backed. Let's see how much Eric Ten Hag has spent, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has spent, Jose Mourinho has spent, and let's look at this one. And how many of they had of their own players, and how many of their own players did Ruben Amorim have? Yeah, and how is Eric Ten Hag doing right now? How many trophies has Eric Ten Hag won in his whole career? You know what I mean? You forget Amorim's only 40. Ronaldo was so right about youngsters, too soft to hear for the criticisms. Absolutely. Guys, absolutely. Let's read this. Rodrigo Mora's Mexican. Yes, sorry. No, I think he's Portuguese. I think he's a Portuguese. Portuguese. He was Mexican. I think he's partly Mexican. I think he's Portuguese, mate. He's got 6 caps for Portugal under 21s, 4 goals. All right, so let's have a look at this. Let me just try and get this down. There we go. I take Gui to. I think we're going to have a fight for Gui, Kenny. It's going to be a big fight for Gui. I think he'll go Barcelona. I've got this feeling, guys. Look, guys, Jonathan David, leave that myth in the background, man. Roy, 2019 called it, said he wanted transfer rumors back. You know what I mean? Bloody hell, DJ Lamine Kamara as well. Lamine Kamara, Lucien Aguirre, all mentioned on the show first, Stretford Post. Exactly. Standards have been lowered by the current ownership. Yeah. But not many people know what standards are, Kenny. Roy don't know what standards are. You don't know what standards are because you weren't there to witness standards. I was there to witness when we didn't win a league for 26 years, and I saw what it took to reach standards. The Glazers are the problem, but what is anyone doing about the Glazers? What's happening about the Glazers? Everyone wants to talk about the Glazers, but no one does anything about the Glazers. And when I've done something about the Glazers, and I've done the 58th minute walkout, no one wants to do anything about it. Everyone wants to talk about it. No one wants to do anything about it at the end of the day. So what do? Do we just throw the manager under the bus, and that's it, and forget about the Glazers? Or we just say, okay, let's try and support this section of our football club and try and be successful at the end of the day. And that's what we have to do. Because at the end of the day, collectively, we can't even agree on the simple things. So how are we going to get the Glazers out, Kenny? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Big up, Aman. Big up yourself. Hope you're well, of course. Hope you're well. Big up, my friend. Jude, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed. Guys, hope you're blessed, of course. No, they haven't. And no one's saying they have, Noah. No one's saying they have. Look, at the end of the day, whether you go on any other channel, what have they done in regards to Ineos? What did they do when the Ineos situation was going on? There were people licking the backside of Ineos before they took charge of Man United, of course. Big up, Red Time. What's going on again? I hope you're doing well, my friend. I hope you're blessed. The injuries and central attacking midfielders might be a blessing and force United to buy a couple of players in January. Semenyo, Stina, Neves would be amazing. It'd be absolutely fantastic, Red Times. Be absolutely fantastic, mate. If we manage to do that. Do I think we'll do that? Probably not. We need midfielders, Kenny, who can dominate on and off the ball, and we haven't got that for ages. Since before you started watching football, Kenny, which was Carrick. That was it. At the end of the day. Big up. But that would be amazing. Yeah, it would be amazing. Hey, what's going on, Revert 7? How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. It hurts seeing our club in the state is under the Glazers and Ineos, seeing some so-called fan channels revel almost take joy out of the downfall, using it as enjoyable content pisses me off. Revert 7, one of the comments of the day, mate. I absolutely agree with you. There are people out there who are enjoying this. Self-righteousness. That Man United are not where they want to be because obviously the negativity sells, and that's what it is at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And some people calculate what's the right opinion. They calculate it, so they say, what gets more interaction? Is it that opinion or is it that opinion? And they measure it up like this. So if that opinion, so basically, let me give you an example, right? If someone comes out and they condemn Mainoo's brother and it gets criticized, you shouldn't be condemning his brother. You shouldn't be doing that. They think, oh, I'm going to admit I was wrong and go on that side because that side is more popular. That's what they do. This is how they do it. So they basically say, if all the fan base right now started going, yeah, Ineos are doing the business, Ineos are doing this, those big fan channels will say, yeah, I'm gonna support them. I'm gonna support Ineos because it gets more clicks and calculated it. They calculate it like this. They calculate it that, yeah, this gets more clicks. I'm going to go for this narrative because that gets more clicks, that gets more likes, that's more popular. They do that. It's like a tally chart. And they look at it and they think, yeah, I'm going for that opinion because that opinion is more popular. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Good morning, by the way. Good morning. Merry Christmas. Good to see you, Revert 7. Hope you're well. Big up, Max, by the way. Big up yourself. Hope you're well, mate. Hope everything is blessed. Samuel, we played into Villa's hands by playing three at the back. No, we didn't, Samuel. We played into Villa's hand by not marking the Rodgers for both goals. He had nothing to do. We dominated that game, mate. It had nothing to do with three at the back. Nothing to do. Three at the back is not marking Rodgers, not stopping Rodgers from hitting a weldy from 35 yards. It's because of three at the back. No, mate. Don't come out with that. It's nothing to do with three at the back. Absolute silly opinion. Guys, I said, anyone else who mentions tactics and three at the back, goodness me, you got to help you. Looks like it will be a busy January. We hope so, mate. DJ Android, you're a Liverpool fan. Thought so, mate. Thought so. Then come out with, I thought so, mate. I thought my IQ was lowering a little bit. I was about to collect my pension. I was about to get a job seeker's allowance just now. I was thinking of signing up to Job Centre Plus. I was thinking, should I go and get my job seekers? Oh, you know what I mean? Semenyo in January, what you saying, Sal? Can I be honest with you, VVert7? At this moment in time, I'm looking at the AFCON. I'm looking at Man United a little bit light in the attacking areas. And I would say that, yeah, get him. But I want that midfield sorted out, Revert. So I want it sorted out. I want that midfield sorted out. I feel like that is the biggest problem at Man United, in my opinion. I think that midfield needs to be sorted out, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. I don't know, mate. I don't think about you, Android. So I wouldn't know, bro. Sorry, man. I wouldn't know. Sorry, man. I'm too busy. I don't keep up to touch with everyone that says they're a Liverpool fan. But fair play to you, mate. And thank you for admitting it. Now I know. I put everything in perspective now. So now I know, DJ, I enjoyed. Absolutely. Sal, we know it's going to be not going to be easy against Newcastle this Friday night game. I know Newcastle haven't won in the last 3 games. We better get a win at home anyway. Let's see what happens. Big up, Noah. Yes, look, we have to win that game now, Noah. The draws and losses. Now we're getting into a period of the season where we'd have to start winning these games. And because we are in touching distance with the top 4, anyone would think we're 14th at the moment, but we actually are 3 points from top 4. Right? We've had a very difficult start and played some tough games. Right. And I think that Man United, if they beat Newcastle, we got Wolves after that. Then they beat Wolves. I know we've been in this situation before where we said this kind of thing, this hypotheticals and things like that. But what I would say is that beat Newcastle, which is the difficult one, play Wolves, win that game. We could be moving up that table. Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. We could be moving up that table. No, I don't get insecure, DJ Android. I spit facts. That's what I do. Just because you get insecure because I contradict what you're saying. That's it. Sal, I agree with you. You vote with your wallets. That's how you get them out. Boycott them. It works. Exactly, Max. No one wants to do that. We still sell season tickets. We still do things like that at the end of the day. And that's the problem, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? We keep putting money in their pockets, and whilst we keep putting money in their pockets, like me, I haven't bought any Man United merchandise for a very, very long time. A long time. It's been since I bought merchandise. Noah, so is there any updates on Harry Maguire and De Ligt on their return from the injury? No, mate. I'm very confused, Noah, because I don't know what happened with De Ligt. I'm trying to find out what's going on with De Ligt. I don't think anyone knows what's going on with De Ligt. Before De Ligt signed for Man United when he was at Bayern Munich, a lot of people were saying that, oh, you know what, you've got to be careful with De Ligt and Mazraoui because they are injury prone. And obviously Mazraoui had an injury recently, and so did De Ligt. So I'm looking at it and thinking, maybe they're right, because for a year we were quite lucky with De Ligt and we were quite lucky with Mazraoui. They didn't have any injuries. But now they're starting to get these injuries, and you know, are they injury prone? And what is going on with De Ligt? I know that Mazraoui is back to playing AFCON. Well done on his assist against Comoros, by the way, brilliant. But De Ligt, yeah, look, I don't know what's going on with him, but honestly, we need him. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, a great man since Carrick. Big up Kenny, by the way. So in regards to Glinios. P.S. In regards to go on, Max. It was Morgan Rogers' individual brilliance. Absolutely. People think it is Back three. It's not. We dominated the game against Aston Villa. Nobody has dominated Aston Villa like we dominated Aston Villa in that game at Villa Park. We dominated them. Had nothing to do with back three. It's actually working. We just don't have the individuals to concentrate for 90 minutes. In football, you got to be on it for 90 minutes plus. You can't switch off for a second. This is when you learn. Lenny Ora will learn. Lenny Ora will learn, but I'm not going to throw him under the bus, but he will learn. He shouldn't let Rodgers onto his right foot, but at the same time, you can look at the first goal and say, well, that was a worldie. We can't do anything about it. However, the second goal, he should have been more tight. And I'll be honest with you guys, he should have been more tight. But at the same time, I would like to see my players like Luke Shaw, like these players, nurturing Euro, speaking to Euro. Lenny, don't let him on his right foot, because Luke Shaw has been there for years and years and years, right? He should be going to Lenny Euro's ear, who's a young player, and saying, Lenny, Rodgers is going to come onto his right foot. Make sure, you you don't let him get on his right foot, because that's where he's strong. And that's where the Luke Shaw, the experience should have come through. Unfortunately, we're very passive and we're very quiet on the pitch sometimes, and we don't nurture and we don't guide the young players. So if we don't guide the young players, how are they going to improve? And that's something that I want to speak about. That's something I want to touch on, because at the end of the day, yes, Lenny should have done better on a second goal. The first goal, no one expected Rodgers to score from 35 yards. And when you look at it, in the angle, the view was blocked on Semenyo Lemens. Some people are blaming Semenyo Lemens for crying out loud. And then, you know what? He scored a brilliant goal. And sometimes you just have to hold your hands up and say, well, what a goal. That's okay. Arsenal conceded 2 goals against Aston Villa. No one's talking about, the players that played then, Hikapi, and players who played then that were conceded 2 goals. You know what I mean? Android, Mr. Morgan Rodgers is a fabulous player. And one thing I will say about Morgan Rodgers is that he's an England international and he should be in England. Scored an absolute brilliant player, an absolute great find. I think that he's going to be an absolute generational player. I really do. He's going to go a long way. He won Aston Villa that game. He won. Nobody else won that game. Morgan Rodgers won that game, right? And I speak about Aston Villa and I speak about Morgan Rodgers, just like I speak about Elliot Anderson when he was playing for Nottingham Forest against Man United a few weeks ago. We drew 2-2 with Nottingham Forest because of Elliot Anderson. You know what I mean? So when you're looking at this, is why I think England have a good chance in the World Cup, because I just think they got so many good players at the moment, and I think they're going to go far. I really do. Sal, which midfielders can we get in January? At the moment, it's going to be difficult, Max. I would say that Man United will be looking at deals like Ruben Neves and Conor Gallagher at the moment in January. However, there is obviously talk about Baleba. Brighton want to sell Baleba quickly because they understand that Baleba's head has been turned. And they want to sell him quickly. They want to make money from him because they know that if he continues to have these poor performances, you know what's going to happen, isn't it? His price tag is just going to reduce significantly. So there is a chance in regards to Baleba. There is a chance. However, I do think that the most likely thing to do, if I was a betting man, it would be Conor Gallagher and it will be Ruben Neves, someone of that ilk, in my opinion. Ruben Neves' contract expires at the end of the season. But we can get him for a relatively cheap price in January. So that's what we could do. Or we can wait to the end of the season and get Ruben Neves on a free. But I think Man United need him because we need to solidify those Champions League positions, of course. Noah, I agree with you, Sal. Thank you, mate. Facts, we need to fix our issues with the midfield and the wing-backs as well. Yes, Max. It's Noah. Yes, absolutely, Noah. Man United have got issues all around over the pitch. The midfield situation is a problem. I wouldn't mind Semenyo signing for Man United. Of course, I wouldn't. I would love Semenyo to sign for Man United. It would be absolutely fantastic if Semenyo signed for Man United. But I would want us to fix that midfield first, and I would want us to solidify, add a base to Man United so we can go forward with attacking players and stuff like that, if you know what I mean. But, if we get Semenyo, I'm going to back him with everything. As you know, I will support him and hope he succeeds at Man United, of course. Did you make music with Chris Ray? No, I didn't, Samuel. I didn't. I made a hip hop music for 20 years, mate. And I worked in pop and rock. I didn't work with him, unfortunately. R.I.P. to Chris Ray, by the way, of course. Big up. DJ Android, big up DJ Android. By the way, DJ Android, you got to understand what Stretford Post is, right? Stretford Post, I do banter, right? Just remember that. And I do get my point across strongly, but you can get your point across strongly too. And which is great. And I always read out your comments. And one thing I will always say, guys, I will always read out comments, even if I disagree. Right, I'm not just fishing for super chats. Right, big up. One thing I respect about you, that you didn't goldfish to launch your career, like Saeed and Ryan. Mark Goldbridge has already admitted to me, DJ Android, that he made a mistake in helping these guys, including Flex and people like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, he has. Mark gave birth to some of the most idiotic content creators there is on this planet. You know, at the end of the day, and you know. He will live with that for the rest of his life. But you know what I mean? I've told him already. Do you know what I mean? He knows about that already. Big respect to him, though. You know what I mean? At least he gave someone opportunity. These guys don't give anyone opportunities. Do you know what I mean? Big up, Sal. Definitely need to win the Newcastle game. Absolutely, Stephen Maguire. Big up, Stephen Maguire. Hope you're doing well. Android. Can I call you? You want me to call you DJ, don't you? DJ Rick Remix Rewind. I heard people saying that Villa weren't great. They won 10 games and we second or third in the league. These younger fans only view the games on stats and XG. I agree, DJ Android. This is a good comment. Yeah, you see, DJ, I give you good compliments when you deserve good compliments. You see, DJ, even if you're a Liverpool fan, you're right. Games are analysed too much on XGs, and I give people and stats. I give people an example, right? Eric Cantona, Paul Scholes didn't have the best stats in the world, but they were still two of the best players in the world. Not the best, but part of the top 10 on the world, right? I don't say anyone's the best because I think everyone is different. So one thing I would say is that Paul Scholes passing the ball from there to there didn't get picked up by the XG, which created a goal, and the whole shape of the game changed. The difference is, isn't it? Game shape, game balance, right? Some people have XG and goals because they shoot a lot. Now, if you go back to the 25 years ago and you look at, for example, Kevin Phillips. Kevin Phillips won the Golden Boot, right, for Sunderland, right? And was probably the top scorer in English football, right? One of the top scorers in Europe. Was he the best striker in England? No, he wasn't, was he? You know, there were Robbie Fowler, there was Andy Cole, there was, many players, Alan Shearer, Teddy Sheringham, who were ahead of him. Now you look at Teddy Sheringham, right? For example, you look at Dimitar Berbatov, for example. Were they better than Kevin Phillips? Yes, they were better than Kevin Phillips, because Kevin Phillips was a goal scorer. He shoots a lot. He takes penalties. He shoots a lot. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, XG and stats. There are some players who get the ball and shoot, but there's some players who actually have an impact on the overall game, on the balance of the game. They have an overall impact on it. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it is at the end of the day. But people don't want to listen to that one. That old chestnut right there. Amram said in the presser the other week, De Ligt had a small minor pain in his back. This was 3 weeks ago. I don't have a clue when it'll be. This is what I'm talking about, Revert 7. Look, a small minor pain in his back. What's going on there? I want to know what's going on in regards to De Ligt. We need De Ligt, guys. We need De Ligt back. We need De Ligt back in the squad because, guys, I'm telling you right now, if we had De Ligt, we'll beat West Ham, we'll beat Bournemouth. Right? We probably wouldn't have lost to Aston Villa if we had De Ligt in the back three. Right? And that's what it is at the end of the day. Villa couldn't buy a win at the start of the season. Now they were telling you, that's how football is, Stephen. That's how football. When you get on a run, it doesn't matter a lot. But I look at Aston Villa's squad and I look at certain players at Aston Villa, right? And I look at, they have got game changers in their team. They've got players that can make a difference in the sixpence. And they're also very strong defensively. They've got Konza and players like that who are very strong defensively, right? And then they got, obviously, Morgan Rogers and they got Tielemans as well. And they got McGinn, who I think is very underrated as well. Ollie Watkins, who's very experienced up front as well. You know, where Man United's team are very inexperienced. So what it takes is Aston Villa to go on an amazing run. They go on an amazing run and they get that confidence. And then, with football, you remember when Leicester City won the league? You get confidence in football. You elevate. It seems like winning is easy. It's just the same as losing and not winning. When you start winning more and more and more, you feel like winning comes like nature, second nature, but you have to keep that momentum. And some people don't know how to keep that momentum. Alex Ferguson got it done very well. He knew how to keep that momentum, how to keep that feeling of win, 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 win. We haven't got that feeling at the win. We're playing like within ourselves at the moment that, we can concede a goal at any time. We can do, that's the thing at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Sal, next season, I'll take Morgan Rogers from Aston Villa next year. I think most of us would know. I think most of us would take Morgan Rogers. Absolutely. Very good player. Sal, do you listen to the Stone Roses? No, Armand, but they are Manchester legends, and of course, but I don't really listen to them. The only time I hear them is when they come out, when Man United walk out at Old Trafford. This is the one. Absolutely. But I don't really, guys. Flex is a decent bloke. It has nothing to do with his person, him as a person. He is a little bit of a narcissist in regards to he's never wrong. But he is, I've met him, by the way. He's a decent person, but football has nothing to do with people. It has nothing to do with he's a good person, he's a bad person. You do see characteristics with some people in regards to football. You do learn a lot in regards to football, in regards to people when you analyze, the way they analyze football, if you know what I mean. So when the way they analyze football, you get to know what kind of character that person is, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Like for me, I don't see Flex as a serious Man United fan. I see him as a commercial Man United fan, if you know what I mean. Like there's commercial Man United fans and there's serious Man United fans. I'll be honest. Like if I done a you know what I mean, a mastermind between me and Flex with what me sitting on that side and him sitting on that side with a questionnaire about Man United and Man United's history, I would win it hands down. And that's not arrogance. That's just like, yeah, you know, he's a Man United fan, but he's not delved into the history and know the history and the background and stuff like that. You could tell me right now, Sal, what was the score between Man United and Coventry City in 1993-94 season, blah, blah, blah. And I'll go like that. Yes, that's the score. You know what I mean? And that's the way I am. That's the difference with me. You know what I mean? But Said, I mean, Said is, you don't know them, DJ Android. Said, obviously, it's the greedy people. Like, that's the thing, you know what I mean? Sal, did you like the Britpop era in the 90s? Any favorites from that era? I did, actually. I like Blur. Obviously, Blur, I lived in Leighton. So Blur, obviously, Damien Albarn was from Leighton and stuff like that. I did like that. I didn't mind Oasis. But I was a big hip hop fan. I did like, obviously, Coolio. I liked him a lot, of course. But in regards to Britpop, yeah, obviously, we had the Spice Girls. We had Blur. We had Pulp. We had, obviously, those guys there. Ocean Color Scene and all these bands and stuff like that. Of course, yeah, I didn't mind it. It was good vibes. 90s was good vibes. 90s was good vibes. I liked 90s. I mean, it was good vibes, good everything. Tupac was there as well, of course. Guys, Android, look at Sanchagola. He was slow, wasn't strong. He was tiny, but he had technical ability and changed the game, but didn't have the best stats, but changed the game. Do you know what I mean? Big up, Mr. Renault. So how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. With the frailty we are finding in the centre back position, is it that necessary in the summer? If so, who is a rational target? Or do we work on Heaven being that man? Can I be honest with you, Rene? So I think we got the defense sorted. I think we got Licha, De Ligt, and Mazraoui. I think what we need to do, I think Aiden Heaven is that man, by the way, Mr. Runner. He's not the finished article yet, but I think he's going to be definitely, absolutely. I don't want to stifle his development. He is a left-sided centre-back playing at centre-back, and he's doing relatively well, guys. So what I would say is that we've got Mazraoui, we've got De Ligt, we've got Licha. Right, and obviously Maguire's still there, but I think Maguire will leave. We got those three players there, and I think it depends how we rotate them and nurture them into the team. I don't necessarily think we need a defender. However, if we had a chance to buy Mark Gui, I wouldn't turn my back on Mark Gui because I think Mark Gui is a world-class defender. I think he's underrated. I think he's a world-class defender. I wouldn't say no on Mark Gui on a free transfer. Do you know what I mean? I think that would be absolutely brilliant, guys. I really do. Eric Cantona was also crucial to Manchester United reputation. Man United, Eric Cantona was crucial to the Class of 92 as well. If you ask any of the Class of 92, David Beckham, Paul Scholes, any of those guys, they would tell you how important Eric Cantona was on their development. You know what I mean? He was absolutely brilliant. DJ, even in the 2000s, you can look at the England strikers, Rooney, Owen, Crouch, had quality. They had better quality than now, definitely. I met Peter Crouch. Yeah, Merry Christmas and jolly. Well, big up. What's going on, Slices? I say, how you doing? Merry Christmas to you too. I hope you're having a good time. Hope you're going to enjoy yourself, guys. Absolutely. Guys, do you think Unai Emery is a better manager than Arteta? It's a hard question, Samuel. It's a hard question. Is he more proven? Yes. However, I would say that Arteta's a young manager. And we have to remember that. He's only, 39, 40? Arteta's a young manager, and obviously Emery's in his 50s, isn't he? So we're gonna have to wait and see. Emery. Look, can I be honest with you guys? Emery's the kind of manager, he's an Aston Villa manager. He's not a manager to manage a Barcelona, a Man United, and a Real Madrid. He's an underdog manager. I think he's an underrated manager, and I think, guys, he is a very. Look, let me give you an example, right? If it was a Champions League final between Arsenal and Man City, I would much rather have Unai Emery as my manager than Arteta. You know what I mean? Something like that. But obviously, Arteta is a young manager, up and coming, and a very talented manager, underrated, guys. I'm not one of those guys who just throw people under the bus because, you know what I mean, that, I don't like Arsenal. Arteta is an underrated manager. Arteta is a very good manager, and he's going to be an elite manager one day. But what I would say is that Unai Emery, I don't think he did that bad at Arsenal. It was actually his team that won the FA Cup for Arsenal, wasn't it? It was the last Arsenal team to win the trophy. So it was the, his team. So I would say that. But it's a tough one. For the future, Arteta will be a better manager. For the short term, I think Unai Emery is a better tactician than Arteta. I just think that. But if Emery had the money that Arteta has had, if Emery had $1 billion, what do you think will happen? If Emery had £1 billion to spend on Arsenal, what do you think will happen? Who do you think would be better manager? I don't know. I agree the coach is not that dumb to think we top four without bringing in quality midfielders. Hopefully the owners think the same and buy it. Absolutely. I'm always positive we will get there. Big up, Colin. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. They have to back him because at the end of the day, look, you know what? We're nearly where we want to be at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Guys, you know what I mean? Morning, Jengas. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything is blessed. Morning, Sal. What's your view on those that say we have made zero progress? It's really starting to irritate me. To me, it's clear they just don't expect miracles overnight. It's exactly what I said at the top of the show, Jamie. People want to talk about standards because standards is a buzzword and it's a popular thing to say about standards, but no one has witnessed standards. And this is what I'm trying to reiterate and trying to put the point across. People don't understand how to get to standards. They think standards come like that, right? I've seen improvements. You've seen improvements. I think we all seen improvements. At the end of the day, I've seen something there that just needs tweaking, that needs transfers, basically, more players in, that is going to work. I'm telling you right now. I see Man United go to Villa Park and absolutely wipe Villa off the map. And but obviously we were undone by a couple of moments of brilliance and obviously tactical naive, not tactical, player naivety. We had naivety in the team and we were not aware. That comes with experience and that comes with talent, and that we need to bring in more talent. I think we are there if we get the players that Ruben Amorim requires to elevate. At the moment, you can only push these players so far. You know what I mean? And I think they've got there, but they're not there. And I think we need better. We need better players, no matter what formation you play, what tactics you play. If you haven't got the players in your team, you're not going to succeed, guys. Manny from Stone Moses passed away. Yes, R.I.P. to Manny. Legend, of course. Absolutely. Sad. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. Stephen, why can't Manchester United go in a winning run? Do we need better team? Yes. And is a Villa team that much better than ours? Yes. It doesn't seem even though they won. If that makes sense. Aston Villa are a much better team. They've got more experience than us. Like I said, Tielemans, Rodgers, McGinn, Watkins. As much as people want to underrate them, they're better than our. Their midfield is better than us. You know, their central midfield. You look at their central midfield, it's better. They've got Kamara and Onana, of course. Their midfield is better than us. You know, they look at the defense, Konza. You know, players of that ilk, better than us. They had Digne on the bench, players at wing backs like that. Do you know what I mean? On the bench. So you have to say that. We have a few players that are better than theirs, a few, but theirs majority is better than ours. And we have to be real. You know what I mean? Just because they play for Aston Villa, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. Side is a mug and Flex is a flip-flopper. Both are flexible. I mean, yeah, you know, I'll let other people make up their mind in regards to these people. Slice of sip. At the end of the day, nothing personal for me, but you know what? Footballing wise, I don't really take what they say serious. So as I wanted to sign John McGinn when he was the Manchester United manager, yeah, because Alex Ferguson was a genius, and he knew, of course. Obviously, Arteta's 43. Bloody hell! What does he use on his hair? What does Arteta use on his hair? How can he be 43? Yeah, Kenny, you got it there, Kenny. Emery's a nearly manager, but so is Arteta, right? So is Arteta. Standards FC, Jengas. So is Arteta. Big up Santos. How you doing? Merry Christmas to you, mate. Hope you're well. Top 5 spot is gone. No, it's not. We're 3 points from 4th, Santos. Come on. Is he faking injury? Can I be honest with Santos? I'm going to say it like this. I know, guys, I know that it's going to be controversial, but yes, he is faking. Yes. And that tells you a lot. Do you think the industry you worked in has fallen off quality? Yes. Back in the day, things were more word of ear. Like, so basically people will hear about you because you're talented. Nowadays, everything can be fabricated on YouTube and it's who you know. You know what I mean? That's what it is at the end. And everyone is copying everyone. And I think that back in the day, the originality was there more, guys. Absolutely. Guys, I want to thank everyone. Another passionate show, as usual. Thank you, guys. Please, guys, don't forget to smash a like. Some of you don't smash a like. I know you don't like me, but don't smash a like. Go and smash a like, guys, at the end of the day. This is how we do things on Stretford Post, guys. You know, we get everyone's opinion in. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I will tell you how I feel from my experience at the end of the day, guys. You know? We'll have to wait and see. Big game against Newcastle on Friday. We are building up to that game, of course, this week, guys. We are building up to that game. But, guys, don't forget to smash a like on the video. Put your notifications on as well. And subscribe if you're new. That would be absolutely fantastic. Absolute legends. Thank you, guys. And, guys, listen, football's never personal. It's opinion. And that's it at the end of the day. Some people take it personally. That's the way it is. Sometimes it is. But, guys, we carry on. And I'll see you later for Chatterbox. See you soon. Have a great day. Morning, night, wherever you are in the world. Take it easy. Peace.